of Applied Sciences, Kachia, Kaduna State, commences academic activities by September. Opposition coalition reacts to Supreme Court's judgment, say should have been party affair, not have gone to High Court or Appeal Court. Hello and many thanks for joining us on the news desk at 6 on NTN News 24. Reaching you live from Abuja, I am Chinenye Ngoyi. An American multinational payment card services corporation has updated Vice President Kashim Shettima on plans to site data center infrastructure in Nigeria. This is in addition to its investment of more than $1 billion in the country, including a technological partnership to foster digital payment solutions, a $200 million investment package, and a partnership with Thrive Agric to empower smallholder farmers and enhance food security in Nigeria. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports that Vice President Shettima assured the US-based corporation team that the patronage and partnership with Nigerian government will continue to grow by leaps and bounds. He applauded them for investing in Thrive Agriculture, noting that the administration of President Tinubu is quite passionate about repositioning the agriculture sector, which is one of the primes in the administration's 8-point agenda.
President Tinubu is really keen on repositioning the agriculture industry here. And we have to embrace technology. We have to embrace modernization. If we want to improve on agriculture, we have to embrace modernity. Improved agricultural prices, improved seeds, fertilization, intermediate technology, and Thrive Agriculture is a company that has focused on food security.
The Nigerian Vice President urged them to also invest in the Outsource to Nigeria initiative of the federal government to help facilitate access to finance for the creative sector to boost the nation's digital and creative economy. Andrew Tor, who led the delegation, said the plan to site the data center infrastructure is aimed at bringing new technologies into the Nigerian market that would bolster the nation's growing digital economy. In line with the renewed hope agenda on security, the federal government has commenced the revitalization of Defense Industries Corporation, DICON. In this report, defense correspondent highlights the implications on the ongoing drive to further secure the nation.
A safe and secured environment is critical to the provision of dividends of democracy. This informs the present administration's decision to place premium in combating terrorism in the Northeast, banditry in the Northwest, and secessionist agitation in the South-South. To enhance the provision of arms and needed platforms, in November 2023, President Bola Tinubu signed the DICON Act to promote indigenous production of military hardware in line with the local content policy. To achieve this, the Defense Industries Corporation, DICON, is collaborating with a local firm for the production of military hardware.
To enhance security in line with the DICON Act 2023 and also the President's renewed hope agenda on security. We will be assembling drones, unarmed aerial vehicles, unmanned aerial vehicles, 4x4 vehicles, 6x6 armored personnel carrier, and mine-resistant ambush-protected vehicles.
With emphasis on local content, the firm says the initiative will cut capital flight by providing defense equipment, thereby promoting economic growth.
Everything that we're going to produce here must be tropicalized to suit our own terrain, and it will be what our armed forces and other security agencies require. Nigerian border is porous. Immigration services need high-tech equipment to cover the vast borders we have in the country.
This partnership will develop human capacity by employing the services of retired military personnel, youths, and produce unique platforms to combat specific threats. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The Supreme Court has nullified the verdicts of both the Court of Appeal and Federal High Court, which sacked Senator Samuel Anyanwu as the National Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. The 5-member panel of the Apex Court held that the issue of who is the National Secretary of the PDP borders on the internal affairs of a political party, which is not justiciable, thereby making both the intermediate and trial courts to lack jurisdiction. Justice Jemilu Tukoro, who delivered the lead judgment of the Apex Court, consequently struck out the judgment of the trial court delivered in October 2024 and also set aside the majority judgment of the Court of Appeal, which had in December affirmed the sack of Anyanwu as PDP's National Secretary. In the light of this, the Supreme Court subsequently affirmed the minority judgment of the Appellate Court delivered by Justice Joseph Eyo Ekanem, which had nullified the judgment of the trial court on account of lack of jurisdiction. In addition, the Apex Court held that the plaintiff, Aniago Emmanuel, who initiated the suit at the trial court, lacked the necessary legal standing to do so, since he did not show how he was affected by who is the National Secretary of the PDP. The National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party has received the judgment of the Supreme Court, which affirmed that the issue of party leadership positions, including that of the National Secretary, is entirely an internal affair of the party, requiring only the party internal mechanism, to which the courts have no jurisdiction. A statement issued in Abuja by the party's National Publicity Secretary, Debo Ologunagba, said the judgment of the Supreme Court reaffirms the standing position of the party and emphatically settles the emergence of Sunday Udo Okoye as the substantive National Secretary of the PDP, having been duly nominated, endorsed and ratified through the internal mechanism of the PDP statutory organs and bodies in line with provisions of the PDP Constitution as amended in 2017. The PDP commended the Supreme Court for upholding the principle of the supremacy of the party in the management of its internal affairs, describing it as victory for democracy. Meanwhile, the opposition coalition has reacted to Friday's Supreme Court's judgment, which held that internal party issues are not justiciable and that the issue of removal of PDP National Secretary Samuel Anyanwu should have been an internal party affair that should not have gone to the High Court and Appeal Court. The coalition's spokesperson, Ikenga Ugochinyere, in a statement issued in Abuja, noted that since the Supreme Court has held that political parties have the right to determine their leadership without recourse to the court, the PDP NWC has 18 officers, out of which those who want Anyanwu and Udo Okoye to end are in the majority of 14 national officers out of 18 committed to rescuing the party. It added that the NWC can also call the report of the Ikimi Disciplinary Committee at the NWC meeting and immediately adopts its resolution. The opposition coalition also commended the NWC members who have refused to be compromised to remain strong and immediately use their majority to suspend or expel party members found wanting. The trial of the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has commenced afresh before the Federal High Court in Abuja. Kanu appeared before Justice James Omotosho as a defendant in a terrorism charge case. Judiciary correspondent Austin Anyebe reports.
At the resumed hearing before Justice James Omotosho, the defendant, Nnamdi Kanu, pleaded not guilty to the 7-count charge.
Upon the commencement of proceeding, the defense team led by the former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Kanu Agabi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, on behalf of Kanu, tendered apology to the court. The prosecution counsel, Adegboyega Awomolo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and his lawyer for the way he behaved when he last appeared before Justice Binta Murtala Nyako.
He has done the right thing. The apology is given to the court, to the prosecution, even to the defense team. What we seek is the good and the unity of the nation, the peace of the nation. And our client, who is in court to seek justice, to have justice administered in accordance with the law, has done the right thing.
He then proceeded to enter his plea of not guilty to the 7 counts charge bordering on terrorism. After taking his plea, Justice Omotosho expressed his willingness to expedite hearing of the matter within a short possible time and therefore adjourned the case to 29 March and 5th of May 2025 for hearing, as both the prosecution and the defendant have expressed their readiness for trial. Justice James Omotosho is the 4th judicial officer to handle the matter of Nnamdi Kanu since his trial commenced 10 years ago. Friday proceeding was witnessed by representatives at the National Assembly from the defendant's constituency. From the Federal High Court, Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
Federal University of Applied Sciences, Kachia, Kaduna State, is set to commence academic activities by September 2025, as directed by the federal government. This is as the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, inaugurates the institution's principal officers. Zenret Dimu reports.
Demand for healthcare personnel is increasing, and the federal government also expanding the supply chain. Here again, the Federal University of Applied Sciences, Kachia, set to respond to this manpower demand. And with adequate infrastructure, land acquisition, and budgetary allocation already provided, stakeholders are optimistic the institution will take off on sound footing and a destination of choice.
The university that will provide quality education, foster innovation in science, promote community engagement, and create an environment where economic activities will enhance the well-being of its people.
We know the president's drive for free education, for security of our schools. We're making sure that all schools are secure. Our children should be able to go to school and learn and become better citizens.
So I wish to appeal to all the young men and women of Nigeria and across the rest of Nigeria that a beacon lighthouse has been built in Kachia.
And with the support that they promised to give us, I believe we will achieve. Thank you very much once again. Our sincere appreciation to Mr. President.
Let's use these 2 big federal institutions, the Federal Medical Center, Kafancha, the Federal University of Applied Science, Kachia. Let's use this as incubator of more massive development in southern Kaduna.
As the University of Applied Sciences embarks on this exciting journey, there is strong belief it will make significant contribution to Nigeria's healthcare landscape through conducting cutting-edge research and fostering strong collaborations within the sector. In Abuja, Zenret Dingmun, NTA News.
This is the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. We'll take a break here. There will be more reports when we return this day.
Celebrate Ramadan with Bafi and enjoy up to 40% off on selected products from living room, dining room, bedroom, and royal sets. Pay less, save more, and refresh your home for iftar gatherings and cherished moments with family and friends. Visit our showrooms in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Enugu, or shop online to enjoy our exclusive Ramadan sale. Let's make this Ramadan unforgettable.
I am Oluremi Tinubu, the global and national Stop TB champion. Many people have asked why I've chosen to champion the fight against a disease like tuberculosis. My reason stems from a deep personal experience. I once had a friend who unfortunately fell ill and concealed the nature of his sickness until it was too late. Eventually, after he passed, we discovered he had tuberculosis. Sadly, due to the stigma and discrimination surrounding the disease, he would not speak up or seek for help. His death was a painful reminder that we could have intervened and saved a life if only we had known earlier. Tuberculosis is an airborne disease that primarily affects the lungs, but can also impact other parts of the body. Being airborne means anyone, regardless of their socio-economic status, can contract it. In Nigeria, 1 person dies of TB-related illness every 7 minutes, amounting to 206 deaths every day. Globally, 1 person succumbs to TB every 25 seconds, which is a staggering 3,456 lives lost daily. These deaths are entirely preventable because TB is curable if detected and treated early. If you or someone you know has been coughing for 2 weeks or more, coughing up blood, experiencing night sweats, or losing weight drastically, it might be TB. Please visit the nearest government hospital or primary health care center for proper diagnosis and treatment. TB treatment is free in all government and some private health facilities. Let us also remember not to stigmatize or discriminate against TB patients or those who have been treated for TB. Individuals who have been cured of TB cannot infect others. I call on all stakeholders, especially the private sector, to join us in the fight to end TB in Nigeria. Together, we can make a difference. Remember, TB anywhere is TB everywhere. End TB by 2030. Yes, we can.
Many thanks for staying on. The warring parties of Rivers State must swallow their pride and prioritize the overall good of the state rather than insisting on having their own political agenda. This, guests on Good Morning Nigeria believe, is the only way to bring back political structures in the state. The guests also want the National Assembly to harmonize their resolutions to the president. Lydia Sampson reports.
Endorsing the emergency proclamation in Rivers State, the guests acknowledge will enable the people re-evaluate their decisions and hopefully work for quick, amicable resolutions.
Rivers State is the treasure of this country. And if he did not handle this in this particular way, there will be chaos. You know, like I said, over 95% of our revenue as a country comes from Niger Delta. So if there is chaos in that place, there was already a present danger of instability.
They, however, did not rule out litigations that may arise from the deployment of voice votes, which may be considered not a true representation of 2/3 of majority, as stipulated by the Constitution.
The National Assembly must feel this challenge and then make appropriate laws for declaration of a state of emergency, where it will state whether the democratic institutions like the House of Assembly of the state can be done away with, whether the governor can be suspended, because there is a dispute. There is a dispute now that under the Jonathan administration, the legislative house and the governor was not suspended.
While the debate continues on the suspension of the key political structures in the state, the guests acknowledge why it was necessary, as they are the key players that necessitated the state emergency proclamation through their actions of making the state ungovernable, stressing that the president took the decision he deemed best suited. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
The Society for Peace and Capacity Building has appealed to the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan to embrace peace and reconcile their differences for the sake of their constituents, as well as for the peace and stability of the nation. The Executive Director of the Society, Abdullahi Musa, made this appeal during a press conference in Abuja. Abdullahi Musa emphasized that no meaningful development can occur in any society without peace.
Us as community or society, once there is conflict, there is no meaningful development. But once there is peace, you find that people will be able to thrive in doing everything they need to do. Both senators, as in Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan and Senator Godswill Akpabio, should embrace peace. If they have peace in the house, I'm very sure a lot of things will become easy and clearer for the citizen, and people will be able to move forward.
I'm appealing to the Senate to reduce the suspension of Senator Natasha and general suspension. Suspension generally should not be more than 1 month, at least, for a sitting senator.
Savicom Presidency has urged the National Health Insurance Authority, NHIA, to upscale its citizens' engagement strategy to ensure more Nigerians have access to quality health care through adequate insurance services. The National Coordinator and Chief Executive Officer of Savicom Presidency, Nnenna Akajemeli, stated this while presenting performance evaluation report to the management of NHIA. Kenneth Nanim reports.
Savicom Presidency had carried out a service delivery performance survey in 18 state offices of the National Health Insurance Authority, NHIA, across the country. Now Savicom is here to present its report. From the findings, the agency highlighted areas where the NHIA needs improvement, including the need to give timely attention to patients and other service off-takers, but praised efforts by NHIA to standardize timelines for payments and strategies for addressing other concerns.
Yes, they have a lot of innovative thinking. There's huge partnership, collaboration with the states, with other service providers. An example is what we find in Kano around the fistula, working to ensure that women who suffer this health challenge are being addressed and they are treated for free.
Proactive steps being taken to expand coverage to ensure more Nigerians have access to healthcare, especially the vulnerable. Increased tariffs and other measures, the DG NHIA explained are some of the strategies deployed for achieving the desired result.
We want to put to the past days of waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for hours for a code. And so what we're saying is that if in 1 hour a facility does not get a code, go ahead and treat and inform the NHIA, because we'll verify that it's a valid thing.
Both parties are on the same page regarding citizens' rights to adequate healthcare services. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
As antimicrobial resistance, AMR, poses a significant threat in Nigeria, guests on Good Morning Nigeria believe individuals can play a crucial role in mitigation. They advise individuals must only use antibiotics under medical supervision, as misuse is a major driver of AMR. Promoting hand hygiene and vaccination, they also noted, can prevent infections. They also recommend raising awareness about AMR among family and friends is essential. Additionally, supporting efforts to improve sanitation and reduce environmental contamination can help reduce the spread of resistant organisms. Collective action, the experts noted, is key to essentially safeguarding public health and for Nigerians to contribute to a broader national strategy against AMR. And that concludes the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. Many thanks for watching. I am Chinenye Ngui.